just kind of, sorry, hanging out, bored. Talk a little bit more about that Kennedy rumor. I went and actually finally got a chance to sit down and read the article, and I'm not, I'm not impressed. It looks just like that Reddit leak. It really, really does. There are some differences, citing Kennedy's contract, etc., but I'm again really not. It doesn't make any sense. Um, and Sutton can believe whatever he wants. There are people out there that believe Bigfoot exists. Hey, Dave, but, you know, there are people that believe in lots of things. I mean, Alex Jones believes that there's something in the water that turns frogs gay. I mean, you can't. So I read it. Like I said, I'm not impressed. Um, I'm totally agreeing with Doomcock and Cameron. I think Sutton put that in there. He doesn't realize really what he's doing here. And it was, when you read it, and I don't feel like linking it. You guys can go to Geekosity. It's the first article. He's very proud of it. Um, when you read it, it's going to read like a plant, like it's a PR stunt. It's not a well researched story. That's the problem. That's the biggest problem I have. It's lazy. Uh, he pretends like he was holding on to it. This thing looks like it had been written weeks ago. Okay? I'm not impressed. I'm just not. And, I don't know the guy. He seems nice. But I need more. If you know what I mean? I need more before I buy this. And he's the only person out there that posted that. And I know we're going to see, other things coming out. And I looked at the rest of his stuff, and he's maybe 45% right. I mean, the stuff about Brie Larson, everybody knew that was going to happen. I mean, everybody knew, all right? And the other stuff, it's like, and then he's got things like the Darth Maul series. Where is it? Where is it? They've never, to this day, announced a Darth Maul series. So, there's a reason why, we say grain of salt. And he should have put that on there, said this is a rumor. But no, he reports it like it's a fact. That's not ethical, in my opinion. Okay? It's not. And you get yourself in trouble when you do stuff like that. And that's the thing that really just bugs me when, you see stuff like this, it's a rumor, and the person posting it is like, so? I'm like, I really can't, I really don't get it. Yeah, well, Dave, if you go to Geekosity Mag and rate it, he says he puts it out there like, he's reporting on Pearl Harbor or something as it's happening. It's like, wait, no. No, that's not how you do this. It's a rumor. And that's the thing I think that really bothered Doomcock, and I think it caught the rest of our attention. Um, you know, and the fact that people are acting like it's real, and it's like, look, again, hi, C-Man, you can believe anything you want. I could believe I'm Napoleon. Doesn't mean I am. Hey, John. I could believe, like I said, there are people out there that believe in Bigfoot. Doesn't mean it's real. I mean, how does he know for sure this is real? He doesn't, because he didn't do the legwork. You can't put stuff out there like this and not couch it in rumor alert, like Doomcock does, like Andre does, and Tom and me, and the fact that people think it's real because he posted it. This is like CNN, and I gotta tell you, do you guys? All right, put a 1 in the chat. Oh, I know, and that's the thing. I mean, look, I know who you're talking about, and it grinds my gears too, because, look, that channel in particular, I think you're talking about, who I think, guy's name starts with an R, he doesn't offer anything to the fandom. He apes a bigger channel. He doesn't offer anything to the fandom. Actually, none of them do. And then, of course, there's the other one who's the expert on Hollywood that hasn't been in Hollywood or in the film industry since 2012. Yet, Cameron says something, and, he's there. He's working on projects right now. And, okay, but when this guy says something, it's like hearing the gospel according to I just, that's not how you do it. My thing with Sutton is he didn't do the legwork. He didn't. When you look at, do you remember the Reddit leak that I talked to you about? That looked like it came off of Kennedy's desk. That's the first thing I thought. I sent it to Cameron, I sent it to Andre and Tom. They said the same thing. Well, Tom didn't, but Andre and Cameron did. This thing reads the same way. It is literally, with a few changes, the same story. Okay? Here's the thing. What profit would Disney see in extending her contract, knowing that just by her name being there drives fans away? They know it does. They know it does. They know she's not liked. Okay? They know it. So I can't really, just a second, guys. Here you go. Hi, buddy. Good boy.
Inside. Come on.
I
Inside.
am really stunned that no one's thought about that. They talked about that on Midnight's Edge. But this guy doesn't think about that stuff. KK doesn't bring any positives. None. Tom can say, well, Hollywood, and they look at her as being a success. Really? Really? The Atlantic said no, they don't. Okay? They're not going to tell her to her face, you suck, though somebody should. But they know. They know now. Yo, Planet Musk. I'm like, so what do they profit? What are the positives of keeping her there? None. There really aren't any. And I guess I'm like, I don't buy this rumor. He basically made it definite, like it's like dogma, like yeah, it's gonna be, they're gonna let her contract run out. That's what they're gonna do. They're not gonna extend it. That's what they've been saying. And my contention is this, and I think I could be onto something, is that if she does get an extension, it's only gonna be till next July. It's gonna be it's gonna be a very short extension, so she can get Indy 5 done. And the idea that she's been so successful. No, she hasn't. The only reason why the The Rise of Skywalker limped across $1 billion, you know, is because people probably were like, it's the last one, let's go see it. It's the last one. I know, we've got cicadas here. They finally came out. So that's what a cicada sounds like if you don't have any. We've got something else out here too. I don't quite know what it is. But anyway, I guess I just don't, I don't understand why everyone's taking this so seriously. He's not Mikey Sutton is not Edward R. Murrow. Well, here's the deal. There are people out there that don't understand that Hollywood isn't the same as it was in 2012 or 3 years ago. Okay? Didn't have the coof, didn't have, share prices being inflated because they don't want to be taken over. I'm talking about Disney. They didn't have the change and the churn going on that is right now. And they honestly believe, when he says Kennedy's the most powerful woman in Hollywood, that would be Oprah. That would be Barbara Streisand. That would be, they put out the 100 most powerful women in Hollywood. Kennedy's like at number 45. Okay. She's not where she used to be. Okay. And the only thing that would keep her up there is her connection with Spielberg. And I don't think he's happy with her. Okay. Remember, he walked away from Indy. He decided he didn't want to do it. Something went down. And that's a fact. Hey, Trayla. So I'm really looking at this going, Tom, what are you talking about? Again, I look at Cameron knowing he knows what he's talking about because he's there. Okay. I look at other people and I go, and there are just some people that get intimidated because they're not powerful enough in themselves. It's like, why are you intimidated by her? Well, Mazarus, it's not just that. It's, Steven Spielberg is the king. And he can cut someone off at the knees if he wants. And I'm going to be honest. I don't think that article in The Atlantic would have been written without him. And I said before, I've got the theory, when they took everything George helped film for The Rise of Skywalker and trashed it, and refilmed, I'm going to say 50-60% of the movie, that they screwed him over. And I think Steven Spielberg was like, I'm done. I'm not going to do this. And they'll sit there and say, well, it's Disney. No, that time it wasn't. That was Kennedy. And everybody knows it. It seems like, Mexican Iron Man was talking about this. And a lot of this stuff, and I've said this too, the changes at Lucasfilm have been happening for years. I'm going to say since 2018. Y'all go and get in the way back machine. The rumor about the big fight, the boardroom fight between whatever faction, and Iger was listening in on it with John Lasseter. And yeah, I really think, Cameron, you're right on that. I don't think because Chapek isn't Hollywood. He's not Hollywood. So, she doesn't have anything on him. And honestly, like I said, I don't think that article in The Atlantic would have appeared the way it did without Spielberg. Spielberg's connected to Jon Favreau. Spielberg produced Cowboys and Aliens, which I liked. Okay. Um, they're very, what is that? Okay, Dave, you want to get that off there? Oh, goody. I guess we get one of Kennedy's little friends on here. Look, we had a bunch of trolls in chat on Midnight's Edge when Doomcock was on. Um, there are people out there that don't, and I'm going to say this: it can be either they can actually be on our side, but they don't. Um, they don't like what we're saying, or they can be Kennedy loyalists too. Oh yeah, I know. I mean, Chapek, he looks like a kind of guy that walks into a room. He's got a very pleasant smile, but you know, well, hard work. My opinion of is this: if she has blackmail on people, wouldn't she have used it by now? She doesn't have any on Chapek, that's for sure. All they've got is them being terrified that their little fiefdoms they're getting their knees cut out from under them. Okay, I have no fucks to give on that. I really, really don't. You know, these guys, ever since 2012, a lot of these people have really done nothing but made really bad decisions. And really, 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 they've done a really poor job. And it's time for them to go. And was it Zasloff in at Warner Brothers is going to be huge. Well, look, I think Cameron would be the one to say this, but it's networking. It's who you know. Oh, okay. Well, that could that be from like Iger? I don't think she's on Iger's bucket list of happy people either. I think that I don't think she's got Spielberg's backing anymore for some reason. I just don't. Uh, the person I feel bad for in this is Frank Marshall, because he really is the brains behind this operation with her, and she's really, 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 really gone way too far. She's proven herself not to be a creative at all. When Tom says she's an absent mom, well, Lucasfilm is up in San Francisco. She's not there every day. She didn't know what Pablo was doing. Oh, they would. Yeah, they would. I mean, I believe there are people that are part of that system at each studio that are very, very mafia-like. I really, really do. I really, really do. I honestly, and you gotta remember that back in the late, like the 40s, the mafia did make inroads into the film industry. Oh yeah, they probably do. I mean, and I think Iger would do it. I think he would. It's very interesting that this woman has gotten as far as she has, but when you look at who she's got, with who she worked with, it's not her. It was always them. I don't agree that she's, like I said, the most powerful woman in Hollywood. You couldn't convince me. Now when you've got Barbara Streisand, now when you've got Oprah Winfrey, and there are others, probably women we don't even know exist, who are doing things there that are way more important than what she's done. And they're doing them independently. Her whole claim to fame is riding the coattails of Spielberg, Lucas, Milius, Zemeckis, Eastwood, and her husband. That's it. Yeah, and the movies that she made at Lucasfilm by herself, the Star Wars, they were probably always going to make $1 billion. This is Cameron. What do you think of that? Tom's idea that because those movies all made over $1 billion, it's an automatic extension. I really don't buy that. I don't. Something doesn't. This whole thing just doesn't. It looks like that Reddit leak. A little more detailed, but it looks like the Reddit leak. And like I said, I'm not happy with the way it was presented, because the way Sutton wrote it and posted it on his site is it's an actual news item. It's like reporting 9/11 as it happened. You know, it's like reporting congressional record. You know, I'd say she probably does, but I don't buy it. This is the first time I've heard it with her. I've been wondering for a long time if she'd been in violation of her contract before. Yeah, and you're right, Carl M. She tanked it. She tanked it because yeah, and you're right. They didn't. I mean, the first movie made all that money because Harrison Ford, Chewie were home. Now, no one understood what that meant, and when we realized it, walked away from the theater. It's like, that would never happen. That would never happen. Han would never let that ship out of his sight. I mean, that was Leia's competition, for crying out loud. So everything they did was the 180 from what they should have done. Yeah, The Force Awakens was all set dressing and no story. The Last Jedi was setting the franchise on fire, and The Rise of Skywalker was basically burying it. And they were both terrible movies. I mean, the movies were terrible individually and then didn't make sense as a trilogy. I just don't. And then you got this. It doesn't make sense from a business point of view. Oh yeah, I mean, it made over $2 billion. Iger was in too much of a hurry. They approached it all wrong because they had a timetable that they weren't talented enough to keep up with. Now, I know people who can write. Cameron can write. I'm sure if you gave him 6 months to write the scripts for this trilogy, he could do it. And it wouldn't be disrespecting anybody. I know he could. You get a first draft, you look at it, this is good, this needs to be, but you don't go into a room and have it written by committee, which is what happened. Yeah, they had a release date, they didn't set it to make a good movie. And you're right, Dave, you're right. I just, I don't buy her contract stuff. I don't. It doesn't, it just reads wrong. How's that? It doesn't read like it came from somebody that knows what they're talking about. It reads like that Reddit leak. maybe we'll find out more later as this goes on. We've got it's the 23rd of August now, and we're, you know, in 2 months we should know everything. Yeah, and that's the thing, C-Man. And there's gonna be a lot of changes. I mean, Doomcock, it doesn't track. And if you notice, it got everybody upset, and lots of people actually think it's true. It's like, how come? Here's a question. I have to say something's a rumor. Doomcock does. The guys do, but Mike Sutton doesn't have to. You understand? That's what bothers me. Is he can get away with saying it's fact. Well, yeah, they wanted to see if Star Wars could do that. You're right, hard work, and it's just it's not built for that. Yeah, Mike Zero doesn't have to either. I mean, I'm sorry, guys, I just can't. I'm not buying this. And it's like somebody gave this to him to fuck with us. You know, somebody gave this to him to fuck with us. Now you've got people actually believing it. And it's a rumor. You know, like I said, Sutton can believe it if he wants to. That's whatever. You know, there are people out there that believe Bigfoot is real. There are people out there that believe that, you know, oh God, think of the most outrageous things people believe. All right? Doesn't mean it is real. Doesn't mean there's any truth to it. It's what they believe. Okay? Your belief can be anything. What is the truth? That's the difference between putting stuff out there, like Mike Zero does, and being a real journalist. Okay? Well, I think you're right, John 42. Yeah, you know, I think maybe. You know, I mean, I think maybe that could be the case. See, here's the thing, and I was saying this on Midnight's Edge. Do you guys, get in your way back machine, you guys remember who Andrew Breitbart was? He was the one that basically sank Anthony Weiner. One night, he was screwing around on Twitter, and someone messaged him with a bunch of tweets that Weiner set out. One of them was a dick pic on Twitter to an underage girl. Okay. And, you know, Andrew checked it out, looked at it, and said, holy shit. So he started leaking, dripping things little by little. And watching the Democrats at first circle the wagon around that freak was hilarious. They knew he was doing that. Of course they knew he was doing that. But he was connected to the Clintons. He married Hillary's girlfriend, Uma. And, you know, he's one of those untouchables. Oh, no, he wasn't. One afternoon, Andrew's in New York. Gets to his hotel, goes on a walk. He was tipped, and that there was going to be a big press conference for Weiner at another hotel down the street. So Andrew gets out and he's walking down the street. Gets there and he's standing in the back. Weiner doesn't show up. Andrew's back there. All the reporters suddenly realize, here's the great Weiner Slayer. So Andrew gets up there and does the press conference. Weiner resigned that day. It went from we love him, he didn't do this is bullshit, Breitbart's a liar, Breitbart's a fraud, to he's resigning in about a week. All right. That's how it goes. Okay, that's how this stuff happens. That's in politics. And when you look at what happened with James Gunn, and Alan Horn was like, out. Disney wasn't going to get rid of him, and then Alan Horn said, no, he's out. Okay, now there are people out there that can defend him. Fine, defend him. I don't care. What he did on Twitter was disgusting, and he deserved to get canned. Okay, now he's over doing Suicide Squad, happy joy. But the guy's now, weirdly, been named in a child molestation case and hosting a pedo party, getting sued. All right, how much of what we feared about him was true? Think about it. Okay, shit has a way of turning on a dime on these things. And what I think, and because I'm going to go back up pretty soon because it's getting dark, is Kennedy is done. And if she does get a small extension, it's just going to be able so she can finish Indy 5 and go out. Now, yeah, I think you're right, Dave. But you also got to remember what Doomcock said. There are going to be a lot of rumors that contradict each other. And there's going to be a lot of shit flying from that camp. And you also got to remember what Pablo said to my spy. After 20 years, I have no plans, and I don't know hers, Kennedy's. I don't know what hers are. Sit back and think about that. All right? If she does, I mean, I said this too. She goes to do something else at Disney, which is why. This is my prediction, and you guys are gonna laugh, but she gets to take the Acolyte. It's not gonna be part of Star Wars. She gets to take the Children of Blood and Bone. She goes over and produces something for Fox, or 20th Century Studios. Let her bomb on her own. Okay? That could be another thing they're doing. I don't know. This is all just really... It's gonna get worse. No, they're not, and that's another thing. The people that believe Mike Sutton, no one wants her. I wouldn't want her. I mean, Warner Brothers is dancing around the fire pit happy as hell they got Zaslav. If they moved her into Hulu and let her just, fuck up there, that'd be fine. They could actually hide failures there. But they can't with Star Wars because too many people know about it. Too many people see it. Too many people in the industry. And again, she is not the most powerful woman in Hollywood. I would bet if you talk to somebody fairly high up there and said, who's the most powerful woman in Hollywood? It does feel like a con job. And you're right. And I think Sutton made a mistake by mentioning it, by not vetting it. He just went with it. Here's the deal. All of his so-called scoops are Marvel. I have a theory that it was one of his Marvel contacts that told him this. Oh, and Sarnoff is, yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, when I hear the guys talk about how powerful Kennedy is, I just want to laugh. I mean, I don't think they'd mention Kennedy in the first 10 women. They probably say a lot of women's names I don't know. But I would say Oprah. I would say Barbara Streisand. Even though she's kind of retired, I guarantee you she still has, she still is the queen. Anne Sarnoff, there are lots of women. And Kennedy, she had people propping her up, all right? And they might not say it to her face, but they know it. And that's the way it is. She's I can't wait till we're done talking about her, till she's gone. I'm gonna be like, a feeling not unlike an Irish seaside village had after the Vikings left. You know? I mean, what the fuck was that? Oh, yeah, yeah. You know, it's really funny. I can't remember what this woman's name was, but I don't know if you're aware of the channel, Cameron. It's called Hollywood Graveyard. And I mentioned it before on my other live. The guy who has the channel is named Arthur Dark, and he goes to all of the cemeteries, talks about the famous people and the stars that are buried there. And he found a silent movie actress who actually had her own production company back in the 20s. So Kathleen Kennedy isn't the first one by years, by decades. And I'm not talking about Lucille Ball. I can't remember what this woman's name was, but this was back in the 20s. This was back when, you know, they weren't supposed to be able to do that. Well, they did. See if I can get in this way. I'm getting chased out of here by a very large black wasp. We had an infestation of them, and I hate them more than anything. They're nasty. So I usually, when they come around, I'm usually leaving. I don't want to get stung. My husband got attacked last year. He got stung. Oh yeah, I mean, Ann Sarnoff, you know, but again, giving Kennedy these accolades she doesn't deserve is just, it's kind of annoying. But I'm gonna go because I want to relax now, and I'm back in my house, and I will talk to you all later. I just want to put more of this out there because, to be honest, I'm kind of pissed off. It was good to have everybody in the chat. And Cameron, thanks for showing up here. But I'll have more to say tomorrow when I sleep on it. So you guys be good, and I'll see you around the galaxy.